All right, if you're a real estate agent that's wondering how can I utilize my Instagram to be able to make an impact in my local community, to promote my listings in a unique way, and to actually see my business grow utilizing social media, this is the video for you. I've got Emily McAllister with me today out of Greenville, North Carolina. She's going to be sharing with us exactly what she's doing right now, what's getting impact, what's making an impact, and how you can apply them in your business. All right, Emily, I am excited for you to share some of these things. As you and I have talked about, you got some unique stuff going on Instagram right now that I know are going to help some people. And so if you're watching this, if you'll listen to exactly what Emily's doing, you can take this, you can put it into application in your market, or just get a little creative with this and take and put your own spin on it. So Emily, if you don't mind, introduce yourself, market, kind of a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the business.
So my name is Emily McAllister. I'm in Greenville, North Carolina, and I am I'm in the midst of my eighth year in the business. Jamie made the joke earlier that I started in real estate when I was four, but I started the week after my 21st birthday. But I have put a lot of focus on social media. I kind of ended up in the social media space on accident on TikTok to begin with, and then spent a lot of time just kind of spinning my wheels, not doing a good job of being purposeful about the content, getting a lot of engagement and a lot of brand awareness, but not having very much control over who my target audience is and trying to get them specifically to engage. And so spent the last 6 to 8 months probably focusing on that specifically on Instagram and trying to hone in on who my target audience is, how do I reach a very specific geographical location, that kind of stuff.
And so what does that look like as far as like it's hard to track some of this stuff, but you can obviously probably track some deals back to that. What does that look like as far as what would you say percentage of your business comes from Instagram or from your online stuff?
So this year, 50% of my business has come directly from socials, either whether it be clients that reach out to me directly through socials. I also will classify people that are like in the very outskirts of my sphere as a social, because I can't confidently say that they would have called me or, contacted me if it weren't for my social and community presence, and or agent referrals. So half of my business all year long has come from social media.
Hey, we've never talked about this, but do you purposefully like some of these people that you meet out in the community? Do you go follow them? Does it just naturally they follow you? How does that look? I mean, as far as growing your audience there.
So in terms of like growing my audience in a very specific geographical location, a lot of times what will happen is I will get like a follower online or connect with somebody through social media, and then I will see them in person. And I won't, I don't know every single person, but it's very common for me to be out and about and for somebody to make a comment and be like, I love your Instagram videos. Like, or if I promote an event online and then I go to the event, this is another thing I think a piece that people miss is it's not just social media presence, it's community presence. Like
I agree.
if you're gonna make yourself some sort of like local influencer or a go-to person for information online, you have to also be present at those things in the community. And so if I'm promoting something online, more than likely I'm also going to be there. And so people will go to something because they've seen it online from me, and then they will see me at that event and go, "Oh, well, we're here because we saw your things online."
Yeah, that's great. Let's do this. Let's go through like two or three specific posts or reels that you've done recently or things you've done recently, what the idea was. And then if you don't mind, as we go through this, and listen, each one of these that Emily's going to share, I'm going to share down below in the description portion of the YouTube video where you can go and click on and see these specific links to her Instagram where you can see these specific videos she's done so you can copy those. But Emily, let's talk about anything in particular. Let's just start with like anything recent that was just different that you can really track something back to.
So I would say, you know, 65% of my content buckets on Instagram are going to be not directly real estate related. But in piecing in those direct real estate pieces, one of the things that did well for me recently in terms of data generation was I did a video where I'm standing out in front of a house, and the video starts up close and then it backs up to show the front of the house, and I'm saying if you bought a starter home in Pitt County prior to 2020, this video is for you. So I'm calling very specifically out who my target market is. You can have a house like this for less than $2,000 a month with the equity you more than likely have in your current home. And I had a loan officer that's here that I do a lot of business with run a loan estimate sheet based off of a down payment that would make that house less than $2,000 a month, the particular house I was standing in front of, that more than likely it was $115,000 down payment. More than likely, I can say with 95% confidence, anybody that bought a starter home in this county prior to 2020 has that kind of equity in their house. And so the call to action was, if you want to see the numbers, click this link or whatever, and you can get a copy of that loan estimate and it would go to their email. And so that generated a few leads, a couple of pieces of data. And I mentioned earlier, in my area, for whatever reason, the mini chat setup that people can comment, move, or comment whatever for something in your inbox, especially when it comes to hyper-focused real estate content like that, it doesn't go over real well for me. I think it's because people are worried that other people will see them commenting on that kind of stuff and know their business. And so it works better if I put it in stories. I get a lot more link clicks and a lot more conversions in stories than I do in the comments.
So in other words, in this story portion, you just put the link to that. Just click
Mhm.
the link and it'll take you to where you can receive that,
I just
correct?
I share the reel and share the link, and it will take you directly there through stories.
Okay, great, great. And this is just like sitting in an open house. As you and I have talked about this, I mean, you just have your lender set it up where it would do a
Mhm.
projections on payments, on current interest rates. Obviously, they do all their disclosures,
Right.
and that's great. This goes back. I mean, you and I were in the same session, at a conference a few weeks ago, and somebody was talking about the fact that just small shifts. In other words, not saying guess, what does $500,000 get you in Greenville or $400,000 get you in Greenville or whatever? It's going and making it where it is from a standpoint of what people think about. You want to speak
hmm
to that about the payment side of that and really diving in on some of those things.
hmm Yeah, if I can find a way to catch people's attention in a way that, oh, this is something, this applies to me, that's really the biggest thing, is how can you take what ultimately is the same concept of a video, which is just a house tour, and
Right.
change the verbiage to make it apply to a very specific demographic. One of the things that I've learned about social media over the last 6 to 8 months is, I swear, like, I stumbled into the social media thing on accident with TikTok, and I have a very large following on TikTok. And I swear that set me up for such failure because I was like, I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. But like, I was so focused on like the level of engagement and just posting whatever was going to get me engagement, and not understanding that sometimes when you really dial in on a very specific demographic, even though that doesn't get as much engagement, it translates into higher quality leads.
Yeah, it's so mature because I think I've said that before. I've said that views are vanity. I mean, in reality, it's
Yes.
the quality of the views, and it's I heard somebody say one time it is the trees that grow the tallest have the deepest roots. And so it's literally like connecting in a way where it's that specific person. So, that's what when you're doing that at the beginning of those videos, it grabs the attention of that exact person, and so like you did, you called it out. If you're someone, I mean, those are the
Mhm.
kind of things that really grab the attention. And we've seen this stuff on YouTube where, I mean, we can have videos that have 300 views, but they ended up generating a $26,000 commission. I mean, we're talking about $100 per view. I mean, it's getting into that range. And so, or just under
Mhm.
$100. And so I would say absolutely, that's absolutely true. Let's do this. Let's shift a little bit. Any of the other types of posts, because I know you're engaged in your community a lot, and you mentioned how, you know, providing value where some of the businesses, local businesses are even reaching out to you. You want to talk a little bit about some of those things you've done?
Yes. So as far as hyper-local community content, this is like my kind of my bread and butter, the stuff that I get excited about. Because I like, obviously it gets engagement. It gets much higher engagement because it's a much broader topic, but I do genuinely care about the growth of my community. And so I try to collaborate with different businesses, and I try to think of like outside of the box ways that I can do that. One of the best performing videos that I've had right here recently was a video where we highlighted 5 weekday specials for local restaurants in the area. And I actually got the idea for that video from Reddit. Reddit is such an underrated platform for people to research video content topic ideas because people go on to, I have a local like sub thread for Greenville, North Carolina, where people go on and ask questions about the community. And most of the time it's people that aren't from here or they're looking to relocate. I have like done more posts in a Reddit thread of people looking to relocate over the last 6 months than ever in my life. But that's where that originated from. And we literally, it was a 30-second video. It took us an hour and 45 minutes to film it. We filmed it on location at each place and did like a creative transition in between each shot. And it did phenomenally well. Very, very well. So things like that. Event promotion obviously is another big one. Tomorrow I am actually doing two like community things that are going to take me all day. I am like a affiliate with a local radio station here, and there's the Down East Holiday Show going on, which is kind of like our local kickoff for Christmas holiday shopping season. And so I have to do a remote broadcast there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. that they asked me to do. And so that's something that I will kind of piggyback off of in terms of content. Like I'm going to have my videographer meet me out there. We'll do a man on the street interview style piece of content while we're there. And then there's another event going on from noon until 10 p.m. that is an acoustic benefit concert. For to raise money for North Carolina, and Hurricane Helene victims. And the people that put that together reached out to me and asked me to MC the event. And so I'll be there from 4 to 10. And same thing, try to double dip on all of the things that I'm doing in terms of content, and database touches so that I don't have
Yeah.
to run myself ragged thinking of thing after thing after thing.
Yeah, and one of the things I think you mentioned this when we first started was is that it's the being involved in the community. So you're
Mhm.
sharing those details that I'm going to be here, and then
Mhm.
you're actually there, and then you do some content from the place as well. Is that kind of how that
Uh-huh.
rolls? All
Yep.
right. Hey, you mentioned the man on the street videos. For those people that don't know what that is, and I think you did a really unique one, which was great, promoting your listing in a unique way. You want to share a little bit about that, of what it is, and then how you utilized it.
So the man on the street interview is kind of like the Mr. Beast style. Hey, can you tell me XYZ or blah blah blah, which Mr. Beast and I are this we live in the same town, funny
Oh,
enough.
really? I didn't
Yes.
realize that. Yeah.
Yes. We went to the same elementary school. But
Really?
yes. So that is like kind of where that concept originated was his videos, but it's literally just you're in public, you're asking people questions, and then most of the time you're giving something away. So we did one that was a list prices right style video, which was a new listing that I had. I rounded up 4 people and said, here's the specs to the listing, here's where it's located. Whoever guesses the asking price without going over gets a $100 Visa gift card. And that did not take long to film, like 30, 45 minutes. And then, obviously it's getting the attention of other people that are watching what's happening and the people that I'm talking to. So, they give their answer. I say, okay, here's who won. Here's a business card and some stickers. Thanks so much. And then give the winner their thing and they'll be on their merry way.
Yeah, Emily, I thought what was great, and again, we'll have a link to that. I'll have a link to that down in the description. But just the transparency of, oh, I'm so nervous, and then you showed somebody
Mhm.
that was like, no, I don't want to be interviewed. I mean, I
Mhm.
think those things of just the authenticity is so critically important in a lot of this stuff. And so that was really good, and the way it promoted the listing. I mean, I think
Mhm.
everybody watching that was thinking in their mind, well, what would I price it at? And so it
Right.
got the engagement that was really good, and just like Price is Right setup. So really good stuff there. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things you've been doing recently as far as shifting some of this, as far as trying to gather some of the email addresses and different things. What are you doing there? And specifically, like, again, community involvement.
So like I said, over the last 6 to 8 months, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what works in terms of the content engagement on Instagram and like being able to narrow down this is my specific target market and geographical location, which I feel like I have gotten to the point where I feel super comfortable in having mastered that. And so now, in shifting to try to extract some of that data from that platform, I am using Flowdesk a lot for like those opt-ins of different kind of guides. So, and a lot of it works well, really well in stories, like I said. So story links. and then taking those stories and archiving them in a story highlight in the top of my profile. So, guide like I did like a local brunch guide, like I think it was 7 places that only locals know about for breakfast, and that got 42 downloads. And so I got 42 email addresses off of it. Any piece of content that I am posting, I'm trying to think of some sort of secondary guide or download or value add that can be offered in a story that coincides with whatever I'm doing. So, like the most recent Instagram video that I did was highlighting a golf course community called Cutter Creek, which is like 50 minutes from me. So it's a little bit outside of my area, but it's my favorite golf course that I can get to within a reasonable amount of time. And so then I posted it to my story, and then said for a complete list of all the golf courses within a 1 hour drive of Greenville, click this link. And that got like 9 or 10 downloads, which that doesn't surprise me that it didn't perform as well because the majority of my follower base is women. And so I'm not going to get as much traction on that. And then the thing that we are doing tomorrow that I'm super excited about is kind of mirroring that weekday special video that we did, but focusing on a Thanksgiving concept. And we're going to feature 4 different businesses in the area that can help you with Thanksgiving dinner, essentially. So we're doing a bakery, we're doing Sam Jones Barbecue, which they offer. It's a local barbecue spot, and they offer like a big, like pre-prepped Thanksgiving dinner. We're going to highlight that, and then a florist, and then wrap up the video with like, if all else fails, the Buccaneer Music Hall, which is my favorite bar, is always open until 2 a.m. or whatever. So something a little funny, like try to add a little bit of humor in there. And then there will be a very specific call to action with, probably in the beginning of the video, I'll say something like, you're going to want to stick around to the end if you want money off, like discounts or promos for any of these businesses. And each of those businesses has agreed to offer a very exclusive promotion to that video. For anybody that submits their email, they'll get an email with a discount or coupon code for each of those businesses. And
Yeah.
I'm really hoping, I really think that's going to go really well. I've wanted to do that for a really long time, but just been too chicken to ask the businesses, like, hey, are you okay with giving me this in exchange? Plus, I also felt like I needed a little bit more proof of product in terms of this is worth everybody's time, in growing that platform. So hopefully,
So you're using that. Aren't you using that though? You're making them collaborators on that so
mhm,
that you're cross-pollinating their audience with yours as well, which
mhm.
is obviously
Yep.
feeding some growth, I would think. You know,
Yes. Yes.
anything else as far as like those particular ones? Because I think this is something again where we go back to being a resource in the local area, where you're utilizing social media really to do that. Anything else with those types of videos? I know you've had some. I mean, I guess you're getting to the point where some people are reaching out to you with some of this stuff,
Yes.
correct? And what does that
Yes.
look like?
So, sometimes people will reach out to me directly, like the opportunity to be the MC for this event. That was somebody that reached out to me directly. I their Burrito Shack, which I think is a chain, maybe a regional chain, kind of like Dank Burrito. Dank Burrito reached out to me because they were opening here. That's most of the time what it is like new businesses that are coming into this area will message me directly and say, hey, we want you to highlight or feature or whatever. And then occasionally it's like for events, will you help me promote this event? Blah, blah, blah. And so what's ended up happening is again, in trying to be more purposeful with the content that I'm posting, sometimes I can't guarantee people a very specific kind of post. I'm more than happy to go and take pictures and promote like either in stories or on Facebook or TikTok or whatever. But I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I can't dedicate an individual reel to every single business that reaches out to me because it's too much. Like it would become essentially just all
Yeah.
my page would be is like announcing new business. And
Mhm.
so, and then other times, like months ago, I had somebody reach out to me. They're a hammock company. It's like Hatteras Hammocks, and they're one of their distribution centers is here in Greenville. And they had reached out to me asking about something, and I couldn't do it at the time. But then for Christmas, we're going to do a very similar like Thanksgiving style video, which is here are local products that make great Christmas gifts. And so I reached out to them. They're going to participate in that video. So it's not necessarily like just because I can't do it at that very moment in time doesn't mean that I won't eventually do it. I'll try to keep those people in mind for when I can when I can piece them in somewhere else.
This is great. And look, I mean, when you first started, you had plenty of time. And
Hmm.
so you wanted to do those things. I think a lot of people hesitate to ask the businesses, but you don't realize you're actually doing them a favor.
Hmm.
And anyone that gets it is going to absolutely love the fact that you're out there, you're promoting those things. Emily, I would love for you just kind of share where can people find you because this has been super helpful and they can check your stuff out, which I would highly encourage you to do because it's a great model. If you're looking to grow your Instagram, you're looking to add value in a local community and specifically some of the posts that Emily's doing to promote her listings in a unique way and also to also find the opportunity to find some buyers. Where would they find you, Emily?
My Instagram is well, all my social media is realtor at realtor Emily McAllister,
Great.
MCALL. It's
Okay.
one C, two L's.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Emily. Hey, listen, if you got some value out of this, and I know you did, reach out, let Emily know how much you appreciate it. And also, if you got, I guess, say a referral headed towards the Greenville area, Emily's the one to reach out to. So thanks, Emily. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.